So I don't want to get too far ahead because Canadian viewers are just starting this new season. I am up to date on what's going on. You've been a bit of a bad boy, and some of your skeletons are coming out of the closet. So if you want to just get into a little bit of what we discover about Arthur and what may be in store for him this season?
Yeah, I mean, I have a hard time really describing them as big skeletons. I mean, I think really Arthur and all these characters have had very interesting lives. Arthur was a F-18 pilot with a Navy flyer, and was a military advisor, and then was covert. And, had a lot of different careers. These guys who run who are DCSs and have interesting. But when he was young and right out of Annapolis and on his first tour, a little love happened, and a little tragedy happened, and when you're sort of a professional secret keeper, it can make things complicated, personally and professionally, and we're seeing a little of that for all the characters this year, I think. I have a lot of fun stuff to do at the beginning of the season, and there's some very cool guest stars. Manola Cardona, who's just lovely and wonderful. Hill Harper. Hill's a regular now, but Manola was a guest star. I get in a little bit of trouble to get the stories going, and then
The challenges of being married to someone who's also in the business, and I'm sure there's secrets on both sides of it, and just how that comes into play and how it affects that personal relationship, and trying to keep them separate has been really interesting.
Yeah, I love that. I love that part of the story. I mean, for me, one aspect of the story which I really like is that challenge of, if we play our cards right, I'd like for us to be, for Kari, Joan, and Arthur to be a married couple that people totally identify with, who have unusual day jobs. But every couple, it's like, is it hard to be married in the CIA? Yeah. But apparently, looking at statistics, it's very hard to be married, period, no matter what kind of job you're in. And so, it's just, I would imagine, even more complicated if you're in the CIA. A lot of the people in the CIA seem to marry each other, so they can at least,
They have that common ground.
Right.
But at the same time, you guys put the human face on who are usually like the faceless.
Try to.
Yeah, I think that's probably the first series that put that kind of human spin and giving you like the emotional connections.
Oh, good.
Between these people.
That's what they're trying to do, and hopefully we're succeeding at it.
Do you think you'd actually be a good spy in real life if you weren't an actor? Do you think you would actually be good in the CIA?
No, I can't shut up. I talk too much. I think, maybe I could do something well. I think I'm a better actor than I am a spy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want any lives depending upon my spying ability.
Of course, you've been in the role for quite a while now, and you've had a chance to sort of connect with the writers and the producers and the directors and so forth to really refine this character into quite a deep character in his own way, and then also someone who plays a big role in the story. Now that you have had a chance to be with the character, is there something that you would personally like to see happen with the character, or something that you would like to add, maybe a layer to the character?
So Odette and I are always trying to keep.
Well, it was very exciting this season because it was the first time that
what did you find
we ever heard anything about Arthur's story or anything from his perspective. And I've always loved Arthur's backstory, mostly because I made it up, because you have to make up something because you don't have anything really to go on other than what's on the page. So it was, it was gratifying to to have scenes that had something to do with the A story. You know, that was exciting, especially at the beginning of the season. And if that could happen again, that would be nice, that kind of thing.
Is it hard to bring a face to like a agency that you probably don't really know that much about? Like, even if they're not just going to let you walk in and learn about the people that you're actually pretending to be?
It is, you know, I mean, it's not that hard because, I guess we're doing it, and I haven't been to Langley. Piper's been to Langley, so she's, you know, seen a few things. But it's kind of what we do. I mean, people are, you know, Mike Nichols said something really interesting. He said, characters defined by occupation. And there's truth to that, you know, but in terms of the varieties of humanity, there are so many. And, you know, we've all read books about the CIA, and I just read Hank Crumpton's book about, you know, the art of intelligence and lessons from the art. He was a former DCS, I believe. Was he DCS? I can't remember. I think he was. And you realize how many different styles of, you know, agency personnel there are with different areas of expertise, and how important it is to have people who have different areas of expertise. And how, you know, I remember meeting with Valerie Plame, who was our technical advisor the first year, and thinking, okay, there is just no way I was CIA agent. You know, so you can kind of take delight in
So I was really glad when you all said it was good.
being, you know, knowing that there's a lot you don't know.
You've kind of been, I'd say, almost a father figure to Annie. Arthur's been, in a way, a father figure and a mentor. Will we see that kind of continue, or are they more like on equal footing? Are they starting to, is the playing field starting to even out a bit more in this upcoming season?
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, more than even out. I mean, I think, you know, if I say something that's a spoiler, do you guys know what's going on? I can't
I
say
do.
spoilers, right?
Yeah, I know what's going on, yeah.
You know what's going on? Do you guys, so it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
You guys are gonna.
Yeah.
Look, I'm no longer in the agency. You know, so, you know, as far as I'm concerned, every episode I managed to survive is a good one. You know, so she's definitely, you know, in terms of position, she's you know, more powerful than Arthur is. In terms, you know, what Arthur has is experience and friends, and. So yes, but I do think that metaphor for the family is an accurate one, and I think it's a powerful one, because I think audiences, you know, and I think, you know, organizations work effectively. You know, it's like anything. You've got morons at the top of an organization. People are going to be either surrounded by morons or miserable. And same with families. You've got lousy parents. You're going to, you know, it's going to be a different situation. And but we've enjoyed that kind of dynamic with Joan and Arthur and Annie and Augie. But yeah, I think that's an accurate metaphor.
So you've immersed yourselves in these really deep, really serious characters for quite a while, and the chemistry between you and the other actors and seeing the characters come to life is really cool, actually, because the chemistry is alive and well. In production, I'm sure there are some interesting stories you can share from when you're filming, because you guys have grown so close over the past so long that you've been filming. Is there any interesting stories from production that you'd like to share?
I'm the worst to remembering those things. You know, I can't really think of it. What I will say is I love the cast. I do love the cast, and I do love the production facility here in Toronto. Sean Ryerson, who runs is our producing supervisor, and the crew, and the whole world that we have up here in Toronto is wonderful. It's really, so, you know, I mean, a lot of these guys on the crew I've worked with on 5 other pictures. You know, so it's we have a history and we have a connection, and Piper is, you know, the leader of our cast, our company, and as a leader, she's wonderful. You know, she takes responsibility for that position. She's generous, and you know, if she was anything less than that, it would make things really tough. And she's, you know, terrific, and so it's easy to have a good time and look forward to going to work.
I actually have a random question. I love how every episode title of season 2 is a song titled by REM. Whose idea was that?
I guess the writers.
It's not like a cast-in joke or anything, no?
No, that's all part of the writer's kind of conceit, and we hear about it as the scripts come down. It's not like, hey guys, this is what's going to go on this side. It's like, oh shit, all right. I made it through another one. Okay. Mind if I ask where you're from?
I'm from Scotland.
Yeah, Glasgow.
Glasgow, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. So, yeah, I moved here a few years ago. So,
Oh, no kidding.
2006. So.
Actually, the first time I worked with Nichols, I played a guy from Glasgow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Tom Stoppard play, the real thing, Jeremy Irons and Glenn Close, and I had to learn that dialect.
Did you have to learn the accent?
Oh yeah. And there was a few Glaswegians that came by and said, "It's great."
Who's this guy?
It's great.